Good morning. We're going to talk really briefly today about the number one thing that you need to focus on in order to lose your last 10 pounds. And we like to think it's all of the details, the exercise, the meal planning, the meal prep, all of that stuff. Well, I'm going to tell you that it's something actually a lot simpler than this. And it's something that you can implement right now, no matter how busy you are, no matter how crazy your life is, and even if you haven't gone grocery shopping. So my name is Tanessa Shears. I'm a weight loss coach for women with their last 10 to 15 pounds to lose. They want to do it the way that's going to last for the rest of their life. I mean, I'm not going to offer you what all the other nutrition and diet coaches out there on the internet offer, because they're trying to tell you follow this exact plan and you're going to lose 10 pounds. But you know what it doesn't help? It doesn't help that the Friday at 3 p.m. when there's free donuts sitting there and your boss has been rude to you all day, you were stuck in traffic on the way to work, your kids are stressing you out, everything is going crazy. But you know what all of those diet and food plans out there don't teach you is how to deal with those moments, how to be committed to yourself through those moments, and how to really recognize that it isn't always to do with exactly the meal planning strategy, that learning how to get in front of our thinking and manage our brain actually gets you way further in your journey and makes it sustainable. That is the difference. There's no point in implementing all of this stuff if we can't do it for life. I mean, if we're legitimately going to implement everything we say we're going to do for the rest of our life, that's great, but that never happens. What we need to start doing is implementing manageable steps and then managing our brain when it starts to chatter and get really noisy at that 3 o'clock time when the donuts are free and they're sitting there and you're stressed out and you know that that donut would make you feel better. But we need to learn how to take a step back and learn how to manage those moments. So the skill I'm going to teach you today is, let's call it our basic steps. So every time a new member joins this group, you're asked a couple questions. What is your biggest health goal right now, and what are you stuck on? And most common answers I see are things like meal planning, meal prep, I don't know what to eat, I don't know what to exercise, I feel overwhelmed. All of these things like this are usually what we say we're getting stuck on. But here is the thing. There is something even more basic than that you can start on right today to get you started, and that is learning how to tune into your body. And I'm not saying that as one of those like frou-frou, woo-woo, be in tune with yourself. I'm talking about actually, if you're overeating, that needs to stop, because you can have the healthiest meal prep in the world. You could be exercising 6 days a week. You could have everything spot on, but if you're overeating, none of that matters. None of it. Because here's the truth. Exercising is wonderful. I love it. I recommend it. It's good for your body. It's good for your muscles and your mind. But exercise for fat loss is way too slow. You will be miserable if you are exercising for fat loss, because that means you're likely choosing exercise that you think is going to get you fat loss faster, right? And I'm talking to you if you're doing hours on the Stairmaster, hours on the elliptical, you're likely just doing that because somebody told you, or some blog on the internet said, hey, this is how you lose fat. Cardio is great, it's good for your mind, it's good for your soul, but I'm going to tell you, I've worked with women for over 10 years doing fat loss and weight loss, and I can tell you exercise is only about 5% of your weight loss journey. So if you're spending 50, 60, 70% of your daily effort focusing on fat loss through cardio or exercise, it's too slow. This is why you fall off the wagon all the time, because you get frustrated. So now that we know that, I'm not saying don't exercise. I'm saying we need to keep that in mind. Where you need to focus is what's going in your mouth. Because if you're overeating and you're eating the wrong stuff, that is going to make a massive difference. If you're throwing your hormones out of whack, that is going to make a big difference. So here's the tip I'm going to eat you today. I am going to teach you today. We're going to talk about actually eating when you're hungry. Think about it for a second. I mean, when I begin working with women and we start, looking at what we eat, what time of day we eat, how often we're eating, we're starting to look at these things. 9 times out of 10, the women I work with are eating because it's on it's breakfast time. What do you mean? I eat at breakfast. It's noon. I always eat at noon. I always have a snack. These are these rules we make up in our head about when we should be eating. And I mean, it's different if you have a job like a teacher where you have a set lunch break and you literally have to eat at that time. But a lot of us work from home or from our desks, or we own businesses, or we're in a position where we can eat at, we can set our lunch breaks, give or take a little bit. But how many of us are eating because we should be eating? Because it's breakfast, I wake up, I eat food. It's just noon, I eat food. If your body is not telling you that you need food, why are we feeding it? The other reason we eat, so we have that the should, meaning, it's breakfast, I eat, it's snack, I eat. The other reason we're eating all the time is emotion. You're bored at work, so you know what makes feeling bored at work feel better? Strolling over and getting a donut. Strolling over and, eating whatever's lunging around the cafeteria, the snack somebody's brought in, the chip bowl over there, munching on some nuts, or, I even get this one. But it's healthy. I eat lots of vegetables and hummus, but I just eat a graze at my desk all day. If you're not hungry, why are we eating? This is the thing. Our body is so smart. It has evolved to let us know when we're hungry. But the crazy thing is, when I talk to the women I work with, they can't remember the last time they've been hungry. We treat hunger like it's some crazy emergency that oh, I feel hunger, I gotta eat right now or I'm gonna pass out. Like literally we treat it like an emergency. We freak out. When is the last time you felt hunger come up in your stomach and been like, oh, interesting. My next meal is planned in an hour, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Have you ever actually not freaked out? Or this is the other one I get. I have clients that aren't hungry, but they're going to work or they're going out for an extended period of time in the day. Maybe they're running errands, okay? And they go out and they're like, yeah, but if I don't eat now, I might not be able to eat for 4 hours. Here is the thing I love to ask. It's one of my favorite questions. So what? So what if you're not hungry, so you go out and run your errands, and 3 hours into your errands, you feel a tiny stomach growl, and you're not home for an hour. So what? It is not an emergency. We are so used to overeating in prep of being hungry, in fear of being hungry. We're so conditioned to eat at scheduled times, and so we never get hungry. And we wonder why we struggle with our weight. We wonder why our hormones are out of whack, and our hormones are telling us, eat, eat, eat. It's an emergency. If we don't get fed right now, we're going to pass out. I've literally had clients that have said to me, I'm worried that if I don't eat, that I'm just going to be a zombie and I'm not going to be able to perform at work and everything's going to fall apart and they're going to know that I haven't eaten in 2 hours. And I say, when is the last time you've actually let yourself be hungry for an hour? And I'm not talking about purposefully starving yourself. I'm wanting you to hear me on that. I'm not talking about going on a starvation diet. I'm talking about you feel your stomach growl, you don't freak out. I'm talking about you go an hour until you're hungry again. But here's the thing. I have clients, like I was saying, that freak out and they're like, you know what? What if I pass out during a meeting because I didn't eat? When is the last time you've tried that? When is the last time you've gone to your meeting, felt hungry, and been okay with it, and not let your brain go chatter, 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 chatter? It is the most powerful thing. Are you eating out of fear? Are you eating because you're on a schedule or you're not hungry? So, my wish for you today, if you are beginning today, I want you to let go of the shoulds and the musts and doing what you think you should be doing because you saw some blog online or some video that someone told you you have to do 6 days a week of exercise, eat only vegetables and bananas, and then, just all this garbage, okay? Stop. 95% of your results are gonna come from what you put in your mouth. And those results are gonna be determined by your ability to get in front of your thinking and manage your brain. Manage your brain. Understand that hunger is not an emergency. So my wish for you today, it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't take any extra time. There's no excuses why you shouldn't be able to try it except that your brain is talking to you, telling you it's dangerous, you're gonna die. You're not. I want you to go into today, just promise me you'll try one day. And I want you to only eat when you're physically hungry. If you hate it, think I'm crazy by tomorrow, go back to eating all day long. But if you just try it today, I want you to get familiar with that version of you that's inside right now that's afraid of what might happen if you feel your tummy grumble. This is the first step to losing those last 10, 15 pounds is you have to stop overeating when your body's not asking for fuel. We eat when our body needs fuel. And you know what? I'm going to tell you one of my favorite things. And I was telling my 6-week program tribe last night. If you have 10 to 15 pounds you need to lose, or maybe more, or maybe less, you have plenty of stored meals on your body. All that extra body fat, you know what that is? That is energy that was once food that got stored. So if you delay a meal a couple hours, I want you to think of it as like balancing all those times you overate. We never think about balancing the scales that way. It's balancing all those times you spend overeating. All that body fat, meals on the body, dine in for a couple hours. If you can't make it back to safety and food within a couple hours and your tummy's growling, we're dining in. That's what we like to say. We're dining in, we're getting lean, we're getting some of that fat off of our body, which was the whole goal in the first place. So this week, give it a try today. Eat when you're hungry. Eat when you're hungry. This one change will move the scale for you, I promise. All right, you guys, leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear what is the chatter that goes on in your head when we talk about that feeling of hunger. What comes up for you? What comes up for you? I'd love to hear it below. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will see you inside the group this week. Take care.